أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين، والحمد لله الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبو القاسم محمد. وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد، سلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. Allow me to extend my greetings and congratulations on the occasion of the wiladat of our second Imam, Imam Al-Hasan Al-Mujtaba salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayh. It is indeed a great joyous occasion for you and I to be celebrating the occasion of the wiladat of this great Imam, who is the firstborn to Ali and Fatima. The poet in Urdu says, Gulzare Fatima ki ye pehli bahar hai. This is the first spring of the gardens of Ali and Fatima. With the time that is at my disposal, without wasting much of our time, I wish to dwell on the message that I have for today. Briefly, our second Imam alayhi salam was born on the 15th of Ramadan, 3 years after the migration of the Holy Prophet of Islam from Mecca to Medina. The death or the martyrdom of Imam al-Hasan alayhi salatu wassalam is either the 7th or the 28th of Safar, and both those dates are commemorated by the Mu'mineen, and that happened 50 years after Hijrah, which means he was 47 years old at the time of his martyrdom. He lived the first 7 years of his life under the wings of the Holy Prophet himself, 30 years under the wings of Amirul Mu'mineen, and the last 10 years was the period of his imamat, in which Imam alayhi salatu wassalam faced a very difficult time. Some of the decisions that the Imam has made, or one of the decisions that the Imam has made, or many a time some of the decisions that the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam has made, are decisions that history has questioned, that people have asked questions about, that history has tried to understand the wisdom of Imam alayhi salam. And so last year, if you remember, we spoke about the sulh of Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam. We spoke about the peace treaty or the truce between Imam al-Hasan and Muawiyah. And we mentioned that Imam alayhi salam, due to circumstances and divine wisdom, had certain decisions that he had to make. Perhaps Imam alayhi salatu wasalam's decisions were very well known by the Holy Prophet of Islam from before. And that is why the famous hadith that you hear again and again, where the Holy Prophet of Islam, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, the Holy Prophet of Islam says, Al-Hasan wal-Hussein, Imaman qama aw qa'ada. Both Hassan and Hussein are leaders, whether they rise or whether they decide otherwise. They are both leaders. Their decision, they are imams. When we use the word Imaman qama aw qa'ada, we are talking about divine leadership here. And we are talking about Imam al-Hasan alayhi salatu wassalam with regard to the decision that he makes. So there is a decision that Imam Hassan alayhi salam makes, that is signing the truce or the peace treaty with Muawiyah, and there is a decision that Imam Hussein alayhi salam makes, and that is to rise against the brutal and tyrannical leadership of that particular time. These are two decisions that have been made by the two brothers who are known as Sayyida Shababi Ahlil Jannah. So there are many people throughout history that have questioned certain decisions that have been made by Imam al-Hasan salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. And before I come to the dhulm that has taken in history with regard to Imam alayhi salam, I just want to assure us that these are decisions that were not only, or these are decisions that Imam alayhi salam made, but they are not just decisions that were something that we were not able to understand. How could Imam al-Hasan sign a peace treaty with a brutal and a tyrannical ruler of that time, Muawiyah? Why could he not be like Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam? So there are many questions. Number one. Number two, because of the explosion of information and the access to history in English language now, there are many people, bihamdillahi ta'ala, that read history, that try to understand history, that try to analyze history from various books of both schools of thought. And therefore, they come to find certain things within history without probably understanding the implications of why this has happened in history. However, an excellent thing that is happening is that the readership is increasing because the material and the sources are available in English language. However, it is not only us who are not able to understand the decisions that were made by Imam alayhi salam. Even great companions were unable to fathom the decision that Imam took. For example, a companion by the name of Hujr bin Adi. Hujr bin Adi is a companion regarding whom we hear that if you go to Sham and do not do the ziyarat of Hujr bin Adi, you have not done the ziyarat of Zainab salawatullahi wa salamu alayha. So we have such a huge and a great companion of the stature of Hujr bin Adi. When Imam Hassan made sulh and the peace treaty with Muawiyah, Hujr bin Adi came to him and spoke to him. And he said, these are the words he uses, فَقَالَ لَهُ مَا رَأَيْتُ أَخْرَجْتَنَا مِنَ الْعَدْلِ إِلَى الْجَوْرِ فَتَرَكْنَا الْحَقَّ الَّذِي كُنَّا عَلَيْهِ. I wish, he says to Imam Hassan alayhi salam, Hujr bin Adi, he says to Imam Hassan alayhi salam, I wish I had died before I had heard of this decision that you have taken. You have taken us away from justice and handed us over to injustice. He says this to Imam Hassan alayhi salam, Hujr bin Adi. Imam deals with Hujr bin Adi, seeing how emotional he became at that particular time. But it was not only Hujr bin Adi who was unable to understand the decision of the Imam. There were others. For example, we have a companion by the name of Abu Sa'id. Abu Sa'id also questioned the wisdom behind the decision of the Imam in signing a peace treaty with Imam Hassan alayhi salam. He says, قال قلت للحسن بن علي بن أبي طالب عليه السلام يا ابن رسول الله لما داهنت المعاوية وصالحته وقد علمت أن الحق لك دونه وأن معاوية ضال وباغ. He says, why did you sign this peace treaty with Muawiyah? He asks Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Imam deals with him differently. He says to him, O Abu Sa'id, أَلَسْتُ حُجَّةَ اللَّهِ عَلَى خَلْقِهِ? Am I not the hujjah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth? وَإِمَامًا عَلَيْهِمْ بَعْدَ أَبِي عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامِ. Am I not the Imam upon the Ummah after my father, Imam Ali alayhi salam? فَقُلْتُ بَلَى. He says, of course, you are. قَالَ أَلَسْتُ الَّذِي قَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ لِي وَلِي أَخِي. Am I not the one regarding whom the Holy Prophet of Islam said regarding myself and my brother, هَذَانِ سَيِّدَا شَبَابِ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ or هَذَانِ وَلَدَاي إِمَامًا قَامًا أَوْ قَعَدًا. Did you not hear the Holy Prophet of Islam said regarding myself and my brother that these are imams, these are leaders, whether they rise or whether they don't rise. So it is not only the new readers of history that question issues. There were those who were with Imam alayhi salam, who knew the charismatic nature of Imam, who knew the knowledge of the Imam, but were unable to understand the wisdom behind the decision Imam took. However, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam signed the peace treaty, and the peace treaty was signed until the last condition of it was broken. And when we say this peace treaty was Sulhul Hasan, it was not only Sulhul Hasan, because as long as Imam Hasan alayhi salam lived, Imam Hussein abided by every letter of that particular sulh. It is only when the last condition was violated by Muawiyah that Imam Hussein alayhi salam rose. Now, this was just a preamble of what I wish to pass on today. Reading history is not a joke. Reading history is not easy. History has huge amounts of distortions. History has facts. History has realities. History has fabrications. History has people's perspective. History has people who have tried to fabricate things, especially in the early days of Islam. You will find that there is a lot of discredit that is been given to Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayh. I will skip on some of the historical aspects. I will come to our modern day, for example, as to what is happening in the modern day and what are the historians reading, what are they interpreting regarding the early history of Islam. For example, we have a book known as The Succession to Muhammad by Professor Medlan. You must read this book if you are a reader. It is a book that has a wonderful explanation from the Western academic perspective regarding the succession to the Holy Prophet of Islam. He has written a book and has analyzed the successorship of the Holy Prophet of Islam and the Khilafah and what should have actually happened, and has a theory of his own. So it is an interesting read when you will read this particular book. However, because of the distortions of history and the sources of the Muslim history sources, you will find that even professor like Professor Medlan, when he reads this particular history and narrates the history of Imam Hassan alayhi salam, and I quote this, he says, Hassan was fond of Uthman. Uthman, the third caliph. This is Professor Medlan. He says Hassan was fond of Uthman and was later critical of his father for failing to defend Uthman. This is now history. The people who have read history have made conclusions from history, have made their own conclusions of fabrications, whatever it was in history, they have been able to analyze it and now have come to these kind of conclusions. Dr. Taha Hussein of Egypt, for example, he says Hassan was Uthmani. He was a big supporter of Uthman ibn Affan and was against Ali ibn Abi Talib. Then we have the same Professor Medlan talking about, narrating this incident when one day Amir al-Mu'mineen was returning and he found Imam al-Hassan to be performing wudu. He saw Imam Hassan performing wudu. So he said to Imam Hassan, "Oh Hassan, perform a complete and full wudu. Don't perform half wudu." This is apparently Imam Ali saying to Imam Hassan alayhi salam. And apparently, Professor Medlan says, Imam Hassan responds and he says, "You have killed a person who performed wudu fully for every prayer," referring to Uthman. These distortions are now in history. You ask a question, why? What has happened? By the way, this wudu thing was not Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba, it was Hasan al-Basri. So those who are reading history, you will realize that there is a huge difference. However, it is attributed to Imam Hasan to discredit the position of Imam Hasan alayhi salatu wassalam. And therefore, the question is, why is this happening? Then you have, let me answer this question, inshallah ta'ala. I must finish by my time. There is an incident where Abu Dhar al-Ghifari, the companion of the Holy Prophet of Islam, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, Abu Dhar was a very vocal man. He did not care about anyone who was standing in front of him. He was constantly at the leadership of the third Khilafah, constantly at them, telling them of their, protesting against them, telling them of their unjust system. So he became a problem for the Khilafah at that particular time, and therefore they sent him away to Sham. Abu Dhar al-Ghifari went to Sham. In Sham, he was now living under the rulership of Muawiyah. There, he could not contain and stop himself. And when he saw any dhulm being vocal, he spoke, and he spoke as much as he could until he became a headache for Muawiyah. This is all in history, read it. I'm just browsing through quickly. He became a headache for Muawiyah. Muawiyah sent him back to Medina. When he came to Madinatul Munawwara, Uthman ibn Affan decided to now send him out into exile. He wanted him to now not be in Medina. Not only did he instruct that he should be sent to exile, he said it is prohibited for any member of Medina, of the city of Medina, to bid farewell to Uthman ibn Affan as he goes to his exile. And the exile was a place called Rabza. Anyway, they had to abide because they were scared. Many people did not go. But do you know who went, who did not care about this instruction? It was Imam Ali, Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam, and some other companions who did not care about the instruction that was given. There Imam Hassan bids farewell to Abu Dhar. These are the words of the farewell. He says to Abu Dhar, Ya Amma. He refers to him as uncle. He says, oh uncle, I'm bidding farewell to you. I don't care if I'm not allowed to bid farewell to you. In fact, Marwan ibn Hakam actually came and stopped Imam Ali alayhi salam. And he said to Imam Ali, do you not hear the instructions that you are not allowed to go and bid farewell to Abu Dhar? Imam Ali alayhi salam, you know, I wish I could tell you how the history has written it, but I will just put it in my own words. He says, listen, move away from here. That is all Amirul Mu'mineen did and went forward. At that time, Imam Hassan, after everyone bade farewell, Imam Hassan says to him, Ya Amma, oh uncle, لولا أنه لا ينبغي للمودع أن يسكت وللمشيع أن ينصرف لقصر الكلام وإن طال الأسف. He says, oh uncle, if it had not been for the custom, or if it had not been the custom for the one who bade farewell, that he should be silent. This was a custom that when somebody is leaving, you just be silent. I would have talked a lot. There is a lot I want to say. But the words in such situations have to be brief. Then he says, oh uncle, even though the pain of parting will remain with me for a long time, that you are moving away, that you are being sent to exile. You see, then he says, you see what has come upon you from these people, referring to the third caliph. He says, you have seen what has come unto you from these people. So remember the passing nature of this world and its difficulty, and in hope of what is to come in future. And then he says, have patience. He says, وَاصْبِرْ حَتَّى تَلْقَى نَبِيَّكَ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ وَهُوَ عَنْكَ رَاضٍ. Wait and be patient until you meet the Prophet while he is happy with you. Who is Hassan criticizing here? On what basis can you say Hassan was Uthmani? And there are few more examples that I have, inshallah ta'ala. I will speak about those examples at some other time. To conclude this, and inshallah ta'ala, maybe when I get another opportunity regarding Imam Hassan, I will continue with it. But to conclude, what I wish to say is, remember, the holy La ilaha illallah is our kalima. No Muslim has a problem with La ilaha illallah. Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam is something that all Muslims agree with, that Muhammad is a messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Up to here, no problem. Quran, no problem. Risalat, no problem. Tawheed, no problem. The problem begins when it comes to the stage of Khilafah, also no problem. To us, Amirul Mu'mineen is the first Imam. To the Muslim world, he is the fourth Caliph. So Ali ibn Abi Talib is a factor that is uniting us all. Through Khilafat, Ali ibn Abi Talib is uniting us all. So Ali is the fourth Caliph to the Muslim Ummah, and to the Shia, he is the first Imam. So there is no problem there. The problem begins when Ali is attached to Hassan, or Hassan is attached to Ali. The moment that happens, you have to honor the Ahlul Bayt. And if you honor the Ahlul Bayt, you are discrediting the dynasty that was trying to be built instead of Khilafah into Mulukiyah. And therefore, to be able to tarnish the image of Hassan al-Mujtaba in the early days of history will eliminate everything to do with Ahlul Bayt later on. And therefore, it was necessary to remove or to discredit or to tarnish the name of Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. This wasn't going to happen, and inshallah, it will not happen. On this occasion of the wiladat of Imam al-Hassan alayhi salatu wassalam, I know you guys are fasting, and if I was a muazzin, I would be scared to give adhan in Ramadan, because I know how many lanats that guy gets if he is slow. And so I do not want to be ha'il between you and your iftar and our iftar, inshallah ta'ala. But on this occasion of the wiladat of Imam alayhi salam, I just want to say one more thing and conclude. That Imam Hassan is not only a madhloom in history, early history, nor is he only a madhloom in the outside world, but he is also madhloom within the community. Within the Shia community, there is also dhulm upon Imam al-Hassan alayhi salam. He is one of the members of Kisa. He is not just ordinary. And we must concentrate on the life of this great Imam alayhi salam, whose haybah and whose presence was something that the Holy Prophet of Islam used to enjoy, and how fond the Holy Prophet of Islam was. We must strive to make sure that our celebrations are the same as the celebrations of all other Imam when it comes to Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. So that we can talk more about him, we can discuss more about him on this joyous occasion. Our moment at this time should be euphoric and jubilant in reciting 3 loud salawats upon Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi.